I used to play a lot of golf.
Oh, I remember being gone all day. Great excuse.
Robin Williams once tried to explain the beginnings of golf from the Scotsman who invented it.
Here's my idea for a sport. I knock a ball in a gopher hole.
Oh, you mean like pool?
Pool. Not with a straight stick, with a little stick. I whack the ball that goes in a gopher hole.
Those beeps, that's something you don't want to hear on a family podcast.
Oh, but there's more.
I put the hole hundreds of yards away. Oh, it's great fun there. Oh, yeah, that's a great thing.
Oh, like a bowling thing.
No! Not straight, I put away. Like trees and bushes and high grass, so you can lose your ball and go whacking away with a tire iron. Whacking away, and each time you miss, you feel like you're gonna have a stroke. Fuck, that's what we'll call it. A stroke, because every time you miss, you feel like you're gonna die.
Mike Gulke started golfing after he retired.
After a successful business career and doing lots of other things athletic, decided it was about time to take up golf in 2010.
And he played a lot of golf for 13 years, but then radiation from a cancer that he had 40 years ago began to affect him.
Went up on the range and hit golf balls for an hour. I think I fell down 3 times. I came home so discouraged. I basically told Judy, that's it. You know, I mean, golf is, I love it, but it's not going to work.
And that's when he found what South African Anthony Netto had invented.
So you sit, you drive to wherever you want to go, and then you push a button and you stand up.
It was a game changer, both for golf and life.
I'm Mike Sugarman.
And I'm Janice Wright.
And this is I'm Still Rolling. Yes, this is a special edition of I'm Still Rolling. We went into the field.
Oh, darling, we went on location. We didn't go into the field. Oh, my goodness. Yes, to the San Francisco Bay Area, to the Sharon Hills Golf Club.
And you'll understand why in a moment. But first, let's get some business out of the way.
Oh, yeah, the business about if you like this, our podcast, if you would like to leave a comment, it could be negative if you want. Give us some tips, tell us what we're doing wrong in the little comment section. That'd be good. And then tell your friends about it. Tell a neighbor, tell somebody passing on the street. We don't care, a low bar. Anyway, and that would really help because we're trying to get some important messages out here about disabilities, and maybe somebody would benefit from your comment.
All right, now this is typically the part where we introduce ourselves,
yes.
But this is the 34th time we've done this. I think people who have followed this know who we are. Do we really have to do this?
I'll just do it really quick, okay? Together, we've been in the broadcast business, news, radio and TV news, for over 100 years.
Well, no, almost 100 years.
Okay, so for almost 100 years. Okay?
And for a podcast that deals with disabilities and other troubles in people's lives, here's the real reason that we are qualified to do this. I'm a paraplegic. And for those of you who have watched this 34 times, you know it was from an operation on my aorta, which was successful. But 2 days later in the ICU, I suffered a spinal cord stroke, and I became paralyzed.
Okay, enough about us?
Okay.
Okay, good.
Now, you need legs to play golf.
That's right. You have legs.
I got legs, they just don't work.
They don't work well, yeah. You need to be able to stand up, that sort of thing.
Okay, but you don't have to with the VertaCat. What was it like for you when you hit it for the first time?
It was a very, very emotional experience. I realized that I could, in fact, re-engage in an activity that I just loved. So, that was after almost a year and a half of basically giving it up, knowing that thinking I would never get to do it again.
How far would you like to see this technology go? As far as, I mean, what would be your dream for how many people could benefit from this, young and old?
Oh, I think as technology, and it's both mechanical engineering, and there will be AI that will end up in these carts, I'm sure, at some point. And it will just extend the life of many golfers, people that have a passion for it, and then their disabilities have kept them from playing, much like me. But I also get very excited about what it can do for wounded warriors, for example. People that haven't lived 80% of their life yet, they've had 80% of their potential life in front of them taken away, and so that's even more exciting.
So do you play foursome and just like a regular golf game?
So I have twosomes, foursomes I play. I play skins game. The wonderful thing about golf, no pun intended, but it's designed with a handicap, right? And that makes me competitive. And I am a very competitive guy. I mean, I race cars and play any game that anybody will bring around. So being able to play competitive golf, I'm not playing big tournaments anymore, but I'll play the Wednesday skins game at the local club, and at this point I've still ahead. So.
What's the reaction when you roll out on this on the golf course, or do you get much reaction?
Oh, I do, and people. I think it's inspiring for others to see it. I'm not out there to inspire others, but they recognize that. Where'd you meet Anthony? There's somebody that's got a disability that's out there enjoying life, and so I think it's.
Mike works with an exoskeleton that stands him up, and we were working at the Veterans Administration in New York, and it's a big robot sort of thing, yes. And when he walked around the VA, the reaction from the wounded warriors there, he would get applause. You were talking about yes. Inspiring people. Yes. It was like, yeah, man, go.
Whether you want to or not, you are inspiring people.
Yeah. So
get that reaction. You get any applause out there?
No applause yet, but I have many people will come up and tell me how inspiring it is to see me out here.
When I was young and I was warned about getting bed sores, and I'd seen many of my friends who were active tennis players, active basketball players, rugby players in wheelchairs, and they all had these horrible bed sores, and that came from their active sports. If that's from being a healthy, active wheelchair, athlete, why? What was the problem? And it was getting people off their butt, literally and figuratively. And what a nicer way than take a fly fishing rod and go on the side of a lake. Skeet and trap shooting was my initial idea. I love to, skeet and trap and 5-stand and go from one location to the other. It wasn't having to be pushed by anybody, because that's something that we really have a problem with and accepting, is wanting, I need some help, or I need an adult. It is a learning phase. I've learned to ask. That took about 20 years.
Mike has learned to ask, so he's.
Yeah, well, I think in a short period of time, congratulations, Mike.
Yeah.
I was really stubborn. You got a lot of alphas out there. That's the reason we got into the trouble, being, in Spec Ops or wherever we were, or just, unfortunate with IEDs and things like that, that put us in the chair. So those are the problems that we have is a mental problem, a physical problem, but we still have to stand no matter what. And what way to do it better than having fun? Because it's not therapy. We can go into we call it the sweat room or and pain is what weakness leaving the body is a Marine Corps motto. But you need to actually physically do that on a regular basis. And we found, and thank goodness we found it by luck, that golf has a perfect way of doing that, because you're standing an average of about 110, 120 times, between sitting and standing and hitting the ball on the driving range. Hopefully you don't need that many times to stand, because that means you've hit the ball 120 times, right?
That's my handicap.
And you know what? If that's and so be it. We say it's not about the score; it's about getting out there and having fun again. Playing scrambles, but you're actually doing an active standing therapy, and you didn't realize that you've done more for your body that day. Yes, you've done it for your mind, body, and soul, but your body has actually, and that's needed, because that can put you so quickly back in the hospital and other problems that come with it. But you're expanding the lungs, you're expanding the digestive system, UTIs through active standing, because we're not meant to sit the whole day. Let's put it that way, and that does hit us sometimes, unfortunately.
Now, you say it saves lives. Tell me how it saves lives.
Sure. Okay, now I have a program that's been running now for over 20 years, but let's say the last 15 years just in America. And I can give you countless names and stories where they came up to me and said, you've actually, I was wanting to kill myself, and I ended up realizing that there is more to just life than sitting in the chair. Mentally, you have also the PTSD program that they don't even have any physical wounds. And that's alone what golf have managed to help them with amongst their brotherhood. They're on the driving range together, and they're all just hitting a golf ball and having fun. And then they go out and play, and the only thing they're worrying about is get the damn ball in the hole, and not about licking their wounds the whole day and worrying about their UTIs. And that's where golf is actually, my program golf has come to me and realized, don't stop it. And that's why, the first 100 units I was able to fund myself through my own financial means. Unfortunately, that thanks to Bernie Madoff, those means were, oops. Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Snow from yesterday. Don't cry over spilt milk. And we managed to actually then, with the foundation, keep it at a certain momentum going. And that's why we've been, limping along with the help of, and I have obviously some clientele. Mike was who you met the other day. He was very generous and gave us over $10,000 because he saw the benefits that he was fortunate enough to buy his own. He actually bought two, one for his house on Hawaii.
Yeah.
But he's a fortunate, successful businessman, and he realized the benefits of what it did for him, and he donated $10,000, and those are typical examples and that money went 100% to putting towards another wheelchair that we put on a location for people to come and have access to, and that's as far as the psychological side. Yes, that's where a lot of the problems start. I've had people that have started golf that never were golfers, and they never dreamt of being a golfer. They hated the game. And they just said, I don't see it as golf. I just see it as it's a good excuse to maybe go and have a drink. But they don't overdo it, where before they were just drunk the whole day. Because they realize that they get a little bit of focus needed to try and hit a golf ball. Although some say after the second beer, they hit it better. There's so many, I can say so many sayings that are out there. But we've definitely been blessed that the game of golf is a very powerful tool. I, as a golf professional, I'm a United States Teachers Association master teaching professional. And I did that because I've been involved in golf since I was 5 years old. I'm now 62. Gosh. I did have a little break of 5 years to try and design something more adequate. And so I thought I'd never play golf. I never thought the machine would be used as a playing tool. For me, it was just being able to work around my clientele who were all healthy or missing a leg or missing an arm, because I had a lot of those, giving golf lessons to them. But then all of a sudden, it became a tool somebody wanted to try and play. I said, okay, well, so I suppose you can stand up. I was invited by Gary Player and First Albert from Monaco to go and play in their event. And obviously, you don't say no to that sort of invite. And I just had to find some batteries that would get me to 18 holes because it was good enough to stand on a driving range, but no one ever thought about it. So we threw in 2 German Tiger tank batteries into the original one. And they were the ones that actually ended up being a very successful part of the manufacturing. It was a dry cell gel battery. And the good thing about that was we could actually fly around the world with it. We threw it in an airplane, and because it was a wheelchair, an FDA wheelchair, it was at no charge.
Oh, right.
You
So
know,
it just happened.
oh, go ahead.
So it happened to be my golfing wheelchair, but it was still a wheelchair.
You know, Anthony, it intrigued me when you were talking about the mental part of it and PTSD. Mike will say when he's involved in something, he's had chronic pain in his back since he was paralyzed 3 years ago. And he will always tell me if I'm really involved in something, I don't remember it. It just
I don't feel
it
it.
vanishes. Yeah.
It does. It somehow it takes second place. Takes a backbench, and I think through the act of standing, it's not comfortable initially, but eventually you just get so used to it. And that stretching, that pulling, and the body, the spasticity that your body is. A lot of people have a lot of bads, but I have spasticity as well. And when you're doing active standing, it just somehow, as I said, second nature. And you just swallow it. As a young 11-year-old told me to, suck it up, buttercup. So drunks and kids never lie. And it really was. And, you've got the mothers and you've got the kids saying, thank you, you gave me my daddy back, or because my daddy now plays golf with me. And before I was sitting at home waiting for him to finish to go and play golf. And those are still, I'd say they're pretty emotional statements that you still to this day, you just got to remember that they don't hit me as hard, and or sometimes they do actually, and you find me both with teary eyed, but that's just makes me keep going because it's not easy. It really isn't easy, and especially with the funding, because without that, it really is difficult. So the Stand Up and Play Foundation is 100%, only able to work and function by getting donations. But we've partnered with several good organizations. Gary Sinise Foundation has helped me with my veterans, and Robert Irvine has helped me with some police of the police units. The Tunnel to Towers have really stepped up to the plate, and they're also helping me with some of the funding. And it's just a matter of time that people realize. And the other good thing was, it wasn't that long ago, we partnered, Stand Up and Play partnered with the city of Salt Lake City, Utah, for their adaptive program. And they helped us get, I think, 3 units there. And the city of Denver, Colorado. They helped us acquire 4 units. And those are being very actively used. And they actually got back to me not too long ago and said, we've got about 60% more players now through the wheelchair division. Whereas before, they had that seated golf cart. You might have known it. It's like a single rider with a swivel seat. That thing sat there and just collected dust, they said. And people came and tried it out, and they didn't. Now they're coming back because they have something that really is working well for them. It's just being paralyzed. You don't have the strength in your legs. You don't have the capability of, you need somebody to really hold you steady, and without any sliding on these seats and the belt cutting into you. They've been made by a paraplegic, quadriplegic really, even though it's incomplete now. So we've got quadriplegics playing golf with specially designed grips that they just strap into their right hand because they swing one arm, being with zero turn because of their injury. I've got one-arm golfers out there that are hitting the ball 225 yards. Yes, it's flexible shafts and it's set up right, and some people, they always try and hit 2 hands, and they really do realize maybe I should hit one hand. I used to hit one arm the first 8-9 years, and I still hit to this day if I was going to go play, and I'd really just go play scrambles for charity. I must be honest, I catch myself more getting to the golf course and I end up teaching. Yeah, is what it is. And that's the advantages. And it took me 8 years, 9 years to go from one arm to two hands. But that was from doing my stretching every day in the standing chair. I had to get there. And then every day, you have through your spasticity, your muscles cramp and they get together and they pull, like getting in and out of the airplane, getting in and out of the car, the bathroom. You end up always using these big lats from the side in your back muscle. And those are the ones that get so tight to prevent you from rotating. And what is golf? It's a rotation with a 45-degree angle forward to get maximum swing. So you end up just using a lateral swing, and that's the one arm. And I've been doing this now for, God knows, wheelchair golf at least 27 years now. So I know a trick or two, shortcuts. And did Mike show you how to hit a golf ball?
We did. We were on site, and I got up and I hit it maybe 10 yards, but I got it up in the air.
Well, that's the start. The start is you want to try. And at the end of the day, it's not easy. And I warn everybody, this is probably one of the most awkward or tiresome sports for a paraplegic to try. But once you get the technique, and that's why I said, I'm sure we'll meet up one day. And we'll make it a little easier because it does take time. And there are a lot of golf pros that mean good, and I have, thank goodness, a handful around the country that are doing this, and they still every now and again, even though they've been doing it for maybe 10, 12 years, they phone me up and say, "Can I put you on video? Have a look and tell me what do you think?" And sometimes it's just a matter of just loosening the belt because they thought that belt was there to keep them upright, so they restricted their swing. And those are things I do. It's all trial and error at a stage, but you have taken on one of the most difficult sports. It's like Formula One racing, not everybody does that. And it is I think that's the most difficult sport in the world is Formula One racing. Well, golf, I'd put on the same level.
Is there a, obviously the focus is on quadriplegics, paraplegics now. Way down the line though, do you think there's a market for just the aging population that we have?
You won't believe it. I just got back from New York via 5 other states. And I went to visit a gentleman because I had another clientele that was just down the road in New York. And this gentleman is 95 years old. He'd be 96 actually in November. And when I got there, he says, "We're going to meet on the driving range." And I was in Purchases, New York. He's been a member there for 50 years. He's been a member for Troon Golf for 50 years. And 7 years he couldn't play golf anymore. And that was because he had no more balance, no more strength in the legs. And he was crouched over like an L shape. And I met him in Arizona. He went then during the summer months, he goes to New York. I met him a year later. The gentleman, you know what he did? He didn't even use a standing frame to stand up. He just didn't have belts on. He just stood up in front of the machine and smacked that ball 150 yards. And I have video to prove it. It wasn't a fluke shot. He did one after the other after the other. And every now and then you could see he was a little bit wobbly, but he fell back into the chair. And he said, I've improved my balance. I've improved my posture. I've improved. And I remember no, it wasn't his therapist. It was his caregivers. They rolled their eyes at me when, $30,000 wheelchair. Which, by the way, he's already donated back to the foundation. He can use it as long as he needs it, I said. We didn't think it would last a year. Well, it's 2 years now. He probably outlive us all, that guy. He's 96. And he was showing off how he can actually stand in front of the unit. So, yes, it's going to help him. It does help him get to the ball. It does help him to get to and from the he doesn't tee it up himself because he probably will fall over if he bends down that far. He has a caddy, and he says, "I live for that. I play a couple of holes. I go every day to hit some balls." And he goes and plays 6 hours backgammon. He is, by the way, 10 years ago, he won the world championship in backgammon in Monte Carlo, funnily enough. So his mind was there, his body wasn't. And this machine has helped him get his body back into shape because he loved the game of golf. And he said, to hit a golf ball, I have to stand up. And initially we needed the belts. And he's since then taken the belts away. And I've got several clients like that now. They're stroke survivors. And, where the one side was down, they didn't trust themselves to get out of that wheelchair. So they were sitting the whole time. Well, the belt helped them, and I used both the knee belt, the knee belt, the chest belt, and the waist belt. And you take the one off, then I take I'd leave the knee belt on, and I'd keep the one waist belt on. And long story short, eventually they just got the waist belt, and with the new model as well, I made it wider because of that fact that I was using senior golfers that didn't have good balance, people with Parkinson's and people with, what was the other one, ALS. Unfortunately, is also a big problem right now. I'm getting a lot of ALS clientele trying it out, and they love it because they love the game. And I think that's also, unfortunately, I lost a client, but they all said to me he had a good year and a half longer. The doctors couldn't believe how long he lasted because of his love for the game. And the machine was just it was a tool that kept him able to do that. And I think we should be proud of. And I might not be the best businessman, that's for sure, and I really should have got better lawyers. But you know what? I've provided a tool. Everybody's standing and playing golf. Actually, this week, there's a big event down in Arizona, and it's America and Europe. They're playing their own little Ryder Cup, and we have active players. And Max Togizala, who you should actually go and follow on Instagram. He shot 5 under par at the USGA Open this year.
Wow.
On his first round of golf. He's a 21-year-old, and he's been playing 3 years now. Ski accident. And he's a complete paraplegic. And he's proving to the world that you can actually play serious golf out of our machine. He started with
if you're 21 years old.
And he's 21. Yeah, but you can be 21-year-old, darling. You can't turn and to hit 5 under par out of the goal on a golf course. That's extreme. And yes, we did donate him a chair. After he bought the Paragolf for a while, I managed to help support him with that, and I didn't know who he was as a kid. And then he went and took part in the first USGA Open. I said, "You shoot level par, I'll give you one." And he shot 2 under par on the first day. And so he said, "Can I get 2?" I said, "No, one's good enough." Although we have been sponsoring him. He's playing for the American team this week in Arizona. In Arizona, he is. And they have the Ryder Cup there, the disabled Ryder Cup. And I know he will be tops in his game. And those are just for those people that do really want to get out and play competitive. He's showing that it can be done. I personally don't think that's going to be the majority of the guys. They're just going to get out and play some with their family, their friends, their loved ones, and have a beer and stay wanting to live. I think that's the game of being outdoors, and know you can still get outdoors. I think mobility is the first challenge that you take away that, then you've got too much time to think of other stupid things. And I think that's an issue.
What would be your wildest dream to have these at every golf course in the country?
At least every public golf course.
Yeah.
Because, according to some rule in America, there is an ADA requirement. And some of them went and bought the sort of seated golf cart that nobody wants to use. Get the right equipment, because, by the way, we can actually provide even for those guys who just needed to, as you said, they can walk, they just can't walk far and they don't have stability. They can use ours as well, and it's being used like that at the moment anyway. Yes, the dream is to make it accessible. We've got them on shooting ranges. We're making a slightly smaller version right now that's to be used on driving ranges and indoor driving ranges. We're in major hospitals like Shirley Wright Abilities Lab. We're in Shepherd's. We're in Madonna Rehab. We're in Craig's Hospital. Craig's Hospital has been a tremendous supporter of standing therapy and golf. And they have their programs. And I'll be honest with you, I'm blessed that the medical field have actually taken on this, because they realize that, especially amongst there's so many young skiers this year. I noticed that in the last 2 years that have had accidents, and they wanted to play golf, so they're a big supporter of it. Yes.
Yeah, I'd like to use that as much as I can.
You look like you were really having a good time.
I was. I'm playing golf.
Yes.
There we go.
Yes.
There we go. We have contact, Houston.
Okay.
But it's just not available. many places, and it's expensive.
Yeah, the good thing is that Anthony Netto, the inventor, is making veterans a priority as far as helping them get this kind of equipment, or at least use this kind of equipment.
Yeah,
at
he
golf
has
course.
discounts.
Yeah, not necessarily own it, but at least make it available. But, you know, Mike, this is the thing with disabilities. It's like the rest of life. It's unequal. Those who have means get better treatment, they get better stuff, they get better equipment.
It's
and
cash.
It's cash, unfortunately. Yeah.
Well, Anthony's trying to make it a little more
Yeah.
egalitarian.
Yeah, he is certainly doing his
Golf is an
part.
expensive game anyway. You got to have money to
Right,
play. Yeah.
right. Yeah.
So,
Okay.
okay.
But hope for the future. Always hoping for these new inventions that are coming along.
Yeah.
Pretty quickly.
Yeah. All right. That it?
I think so.
Okay. I'm Mike Sugarman,
And I'm Janice Wright.
and this is I'm Still Rolling.